The Oregon Secretary of State's office says they found more than $1 million in wasteful spending in the program that offers free preschool for kids statewide. Oregon Preschool Promise is a state-funded program that opens up free preschool slots for 3- and 4-year-olds from low-income families. But the Secretary of State's office says they got a tip that funds were being misappropriated. And when they looked into it, they say they found $1.4 million in wasteful spending by the department in charge. That includes $679,000 in grants to child care providers who were under-enrolled, meaning they didn't fill the spots they were funded for. $154,000 in grants to child care sites that hadn't even opened yet, and $586,000 in grants to providers that expanded even though they had under-enrolled the slots they had. For example, they say one provider had their slots increased from 9 kids to 32, even though they'd had less than half of them filled that year. The next year, that provider opened up 2 child care sites. One had just over half its slots filled. The other only had 2%. Here's Secretary of State Tobias Reed.
The program is set up to pay for slots, and we want those slots to be filled. We want kids to get the advantage of that support. And when we don't do that, we're leaving that opportunity behind. What was clear from our management letter is that had these dollars been better spent, we could have helped 100 more kids. And if we think about how that can compound year over year, that's why it's really important for the department to address these recommendations, to implement them. So we're putting these dollars to maximum use and helping every Oregon kid we can.
$1.4 million is just a small fraction of the program's $200 million budget over 2 years. But either way, the Secretary of State had a list of recommendations for the Oregon Department of Early Learning and Care, including enhancing monitoring at low enrollment sites. The DELC says all feasible recommendations are either complete or currently being implemented. But they told the Secretary of State staffing for this program has not kept pace with the rapid growth of services, resulting in limited ability to adequately monitor programming. They say the program doubled in size in 2019 after the state passed the Student Success Act, but DELC didn't get additional funding for fiscal analysis and grant monitors. Under the new budget the state just passed, they will have money for one person to do that. You may remember the recent tiff between Governor Kotek and Multnomah County Chair Jessica Vega-Peterson regarding the county's Preschool for All program, more specifically the tax on high earners to fund it. The governor says changes need to be made to try and keep high earners from fleeing the county while leaning on available statewide preschool programs, just like the one we just mentioned. Chair Vega-Peterson, for her part, gently told the governor to back off. So you can bet that if that issue bubbles back to the surface at some point, the county will use this so-called management letter as evidence that the statewide preschool programs are not without funding faults of their own. Keep it here. We're back right after this.